running the event here. Everything's going smooth. So, welcome. And what I'd like to do is take my first... I'd like to introduce Elena. She's going to be speaking today. So I'm going to turn the mic over to her. And here you go.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. I am going to do two things. I am going to read, then I'm going to talk, then I'm going to read, then I'm going to talk, then you can ask questions, as many questions as you want. Obviously, we have a lot of people here, so please keep your questions to a minimum of 100, and we should be fine. Okay. I'm going to tell you a little bit about me, because I think that in order for you to understand what I do, you need to understand who I am. And you don't need to understand. I invite you to understand. I was born in southern Italy. My name is Elena Giuseppina Castellano, and then I married a Jones. So it's Elena Castellano Jones. And my parents are very strict Italian parents from the old country, and very, very much Italian. And it was not cool to have a daughter like me. I was beaten quite often for my visions. As young as 2 years old, as soon as I could talk, I would tell my parents. My father just thought that I was just a very imaginative child. My mother, on the other hand, thought that there was something really wrong with me. And she proceeded to take me to a lot of different psychiatrists, a lot of different therapists, and they were always giving me this test, the test that, you know, it may look like a butterfly, it may look like a square, it may look like an octagon. And they would ask me what I saw. And I would always tell them what I would see. And the shapes that I would see always represented something very different to me than what it represented to them. At the age of 15, my mother takes me to this wonderful, actually, I take it back, that was at the age of 7. My mother takes me to this very nice gentleman that he is also considered a psychiatrist. And he told my mother she needed to be outside. And this was the first time that I was with someone without my mother in the room. And I proceeded to tell him who I was at 7 years old. And he took me through all the testing, and he asked my mother to come in, and he told my mother, you have a futuristic child. Your child has incredible gift that you should acknowledge, and I would suggest that you find someone that can help her channel that. My mother, when I got home, she beat me up, and she says, don't ever, 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 ever use whatever you have, because you are a freak, and people will laugh at you, and all this other good stuff. So I put my gifts in a closet. At the time that I was, I married at 20, had my daughter at 21, and I knew that I was going to have a daughter. I knew that I was going to give birth to a beautiful child. And I knew that she would be the only one I would ever have. The ex-husband was he did not like the fact that I had special gifts. And I did tell him about it, but I was never able to also not do anything with it. When I got divorced at the age of 32, I happened to walk into a metaphysical store. I don't know why. I've never been to a metaphysical store. I was just drawn there. And as soon as I walked in, I looked at this girl, and I just saw everything. And I told her everything that I saw. And she asked me where I read, and I didn't understand what she meant. I said, well, I read books. She goes, no, where do you read? I says, I read what? She said, what you just did. That is, you're a psychic. A psychic? I didn't know what a psychic was. Imagine that. I did not know. And at 32 is when I really acknowledged that I had something to offer that was very different. I put my psychic abilities to use in channeling the dead. I am a psychic medium. Mediums are people who use psychic readings to channel those from the spirit world. You may want to know, what is channeling? Psychic channeling is a form of mediumship that encompasses the transfer of information and to communicate with the past souls. Who are psychic mediums? Well, I'm one of those. A psychic medium may have inherited this propensity from their parents or grandparents. I know who I inherited from. It was my mother's mother, my grandmother. Or it may be a continuous process with every incarnation. And I have lived many lifetimes. They may even be uniquely divinely blessed with the talent from birth, such was my case. In this case, I revealed this talent in a very early age, which I just discussed with you. The talent may also be acquired under the guidance of a master psychic. You may want to know what a master psychic is. It's someone that has always known, has never put that in a closet, that was not told that they were a freak. Instead, that person lived their entire life with the guidance, with the loving guidance of their parents, and able to also assist others that have just come into acknowledging who they are. The psychic medium may use various predictive tools like astrology, tarot cards, numerology, crystal ball gazing. I personally do not use any of those tools. How do you become a medium psychic? It is important to point out here that not everyone can become a medium psychic. Most mediums, like John Edwards, are born with this psychic ability. To learn psychic medium, you have to lead a very balanced life. Disciplined, compassionate life. You also have to develop your psychic energy or the spiritual energy through meditation and spiritual disclosure. You have to be sensitive, relaxed, meditative state of mind, purified from all evil, all flowing with compassion and love. How do psychic mediums see into the future? When I was very young, 2 years old, is when it was the first time that I was talking. I started talking. My mother said, as soon as I came out of the womb, she says, a 1-year-old, I was blah, 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 blah. And at 2 years old, I had informed my mother that I had a dream. And that I saw these numbers, and I didn't understand numbers at that time. And I told her that a plane will fall. And 3 numbers will die. They were, at that time, I believe it was 235 people on board. The next morning, my mother gets the paper, and to her amazement, in the front page, airplane crash, 235 people dead. That was the earliest that I can remember. Other than that, I cannot remember anything earlier than that. A psychic medium is able to tune into another dimension, which enables them to see or sense another person or event from another place, time, or realm. The medium channels this dimension through the psychic eye, called the third eye. The third eye is located between your 2 eyes. It's right here. Right here. Everyone has a third eye. Most of their lives, that third eye is closed. My third eye is open. I'm reading because I wrote everything down because I wanted to make sure that I can cover all of this. The best way for me to explain it, seeing things through the third eye, is like having a remote camera set up on your computer where you can see another event that is happening on the other side of the world. This remote visual takes place due to the transmission of energy in the form of light. The psychic medium is able to achieve the same results except instead of physical distance. The psychic medium uses spiritual light energy which can transcend time and space to remote view persons that may have passed on. Their psychic medium gifts can also be used to view the future in the same way as previously described. Psychic mediums are amazing individuals that use their powers to help others along their journey of life. Sometimes a word of love or phrase from someone who has passed over is enough to bring closure to their death. How do mediums access the physical energies, psychic energies, Now imagine a psychic medium lowering their body processes, their breathing and heart rate, to a level where their body energy is similar to the paranormal. The psychic medium then communicates with the spirit world and channels its message to us. This information, which our people are seeking widely, is a psychic medium reading. The medium has the ability to tune in to the other wavelength of the departed souls, just like you would tune into your radio station. How does a medium help us? These are the questions that I thought that you may want to know. So I wrote them down and then I tried to answer them. And if I wrote them down this early in the morning, I could read them. A psychic medium plays an important role in helping people solve the problems that baffle the experts. You may find yourself sick, lost, confused, depressed, and apprehensive of an unknown fear, or even haunted by hallucinations. See dreams which leave you drenched with sweat or drained of your energy. Or you may be involved in a legal dispute which the best legal brains cannot resolve. You may be constantly stalked by some dangerous person, and the best talent of the police department is unable to trace the culprit. There may be numerous other problems involving business, relationships, or estate. The list can just go on and on and on and on. It is through a medium psychic reading that the psychic medium guides us in moments of stress and indecisions. Through channeling those from the spirit world, psychic mediums can tell us about our past, our loved ones, relationships, and our future. I do not predict the future. I only say what is given to me. I only will tell you what I see. Whatever you do with that information, then that is up to you. Why do people go to psychic mediums? That's a good question. There's a lot of people that come to me. This is the best way that I can explain it. People seek psychic mediums for contacting souls that have passed over, for healing, wisdom, and decisions, channeling, directions, and realization of their dreams. We are part of an energy system. Spirits are a higher part of that energy system, and psychic mediums are the channel. Through an experienced psychic who seeks more harness the spiritual wisdom and use the psychic readings to further enhance their life. Now, not all psychics are alike. There's a many difference in psychics. Every psychic is different. One psychic may pick up one thing, another psychic might pick up another thing, another psychic may pick up another. A clairaudience is when a medium sees the spirits. A clairaudience is when mediums hear the Spirit. That's what I do. I hear the Spirit. And I'm also a clairaudience. That is when mediums sense the presence and the thought of the Spirit. Now, with all of this being said and done, I'm just going to give you some stories of my life. And there is someone here with us that was with me when a certain entity described to me how many people were there when they were murdered. And I asked the Spirit to show me what it looked like. And I relayed the information to the police department that had not solved the murder. What they did with that information, that was all up to them. Now, you have questions, ask me, because I'll be happy to answer them. James. Okay. Anybody?
Yeah. I've had a case with the police department for 2 years where someone in my town, I recently got a divorce, someone in my town has been sending letters, nasty letters, to my friends and family, to my new husband, and I actually have an original letter. Do you think you can?
One thing that I believe that it needs to be understood that I'm going to speak my truth to you. I am here to just do that. And the way that you choose to accept it, that is your choice, that is your thing. People come up to me all the time, oh, what do you see, what do you see, what do you see? And I'm like, you know, I am not on at all times, because if I did that, then I would be drained. I can turn myself on, and I can turn myself off. I know it sounds kind of funny, doesn't it? I would be happy to look at the letter, okay? Because for me, it's not like I can look at you, and first of all, I do not read anybody without their permission. I don't walk around reading everybody. I don't do that. I have been given items, and I may get something if it's for my highest good to get it, or if it's for their highest good to receive the message. I have worked with police departments. I have worked with investigators. We had a case in St. Petersburg where 2 police officers were shot. Actually, there was more than 2 police officers. But the last police officer that was shot, I went straight to the police department. And they put up a picture of the police officer that was shot. So what I did is I contacted him, and I asked him to describe to me what did his murderer look like, because they were looking for, they didn't even know who they were looking for. And the way that I get the information with me specifically, it would be a picture. And a picture will form, it'll start forming of what it looks like. I did not realize that next to me was a reporter, and I stayed away from reporters. You know, I just don't, I don't want to be on television. I don't want to do none of that stuff. I didn't come here in this life to do that. I came here in this life to help people. That's what my passion, that's what I love to do, that's why I'm here. And I have gone there with someone that is here with me at this conference. And I had a clear vision that we were not looking for a man, that we were looking for a young man between the ages of 15 and 21. And the wonderful soul showed me how he was shot. And he also showed me what he looked like. And then I asked, where is he located? And he told me that he was hiding underneath a building in St. Petersburg. He told me that it showed me the street where he may be found. Not every police department is very happy to talk to psychics. You know, they have their psychics and someone comes in and they, you know what, call a hotline. So the officer that I'm used to talking with was not there for me to speak with. The investigator that I'm used to speaking with was not there. And I told St. Petersburg Police Department, I know where he is, I know what he looks like. I'm a medium psychic. And she says, well, I'm sorry, we can't help you. Pick up that phone right there and you can just report it. I went home. But this soul would not leave me alone. And I said, well, I'm trying to do the best that I can. They don't want to listen to me. What am I going to do? Go back to the police station. Okay, I'll go back to the police station. And that's when they started the memorial, the flowers, the stuff, and all the other stuff. And I'm standing and I'm looking at his picture, and I'm connected to him. And that's when the reporter was standing next to me, and I didn't even know she was a reporter, because there was all these different television stations were there, and they wanted to speak to me, and I didn't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to do that. I'm not here for glory. And I mentioned, I can't remember who it was standing next to me, and I said, he is no longer there. He's between this street and this street because he's running. He's hiding. And the lady next to me, she says to me, she says, what is your name? I said, why? She goes, well, I just want you to know that they have surrounded a building between the same streets that you just mentioned. And then she asked me, who are you? I said, I'm just a nobody. She goes, so how did you know? I said, it doesn't matter, but I need to go, and I left. So that is how, for me, and how does that relate to the paranormal? When I go out with my team does not give me any information. They don't even give me the address of where we're going. And one of my team members is here. You can ask my team members. They do not give me the address until I am en route. They give me a general direction of where I'm going, and then they'll give me an address. Before I even get there, I'm already seeing images. Sometimes I may see what the house will look like, what the furniture inside. And then I am the first one to walk into the home. The team goes in to tell the family that I will go in first, and I have someone behind me that writes everything down as I'm going from room to room to room to room to room. Lots of times the entity is very happy to see me. Lots of times the entity is not happy to see me. I have been pushed. I have been grabbed by my throat. I have been, I have been grabbed by my throat. I have been pushed back. And when that happens, I get really upset because I do not like that kind of behavior from anybody live, especially from the other side. And then there's those other entities that they just can't wait to just talk. And Willie was one of those. We were invited, my team was invited to go to this wonderful jail And I just had the most incredible conversation with this incredible soul. And this soul that showed me, but did not know who killed him, but knew the person that was with the person that killed him. The way that I can explain it is that for me is I go in and I telepathically, this is the best way to explain, I telepathically connect. And I always tell them who I am. I tell them that in this life my name is Elena, and that I'm not there to harm them, but if they would like to communicate, I will be very open to communicate with them. And then as they communicate with me, I start giving out loud what I'm getting. And then later, my team, after all the evidence has been reviewed, then they take what I say with what they got. Now, I don't go around to my team and say, was I accurate? Was I accurate? Was I accurate? Because, I'm not about that. I deliver the message the way the message is being given to me. That's it. That's it. And it's my choice to connect with them. But lots of times, they seek me out. Sometimes I'll be in the shower. I had a child. I was in the shower, showering, minding my own business. It's my time. And I had a child. Started talking to me. And that morning, I was going to this particular metaphysical store because they had asked me if I would come in and do psychic readings. And I'm like, okay. And I went and I started talking to the owner. And the owner has someone that works for them. And I tell the owner that there's a little girl, 2 years old, with blonde hair and blue eyes that will not leave me alone. And that her name is Amy. And her assistant, the lady that was running the cash register, she jumped and she goes, "Oh, that's my baby. She died when she was 2 years old. And I've been wanting to know how she's doing. I've been praying and praying and praying, and we've had so many psychics that come in and out of here, and no one ever said anything about her to me." I said, "Well, she wants you to know something." And then I don't know what the message was. When I receive a message, I go into a different state of mind. It's like I feel my body. It's like I'm here, but I'm not here. Does that make sense? Okay? And when I receive the message, when it's done, I don't remember it. I have had people from CEOs to CIA agents come to me. I have had people from the corporate world to the other non-corporate world come and seek me out. They find me. And I always know who sends them. Is the person that wants to communicate with them, leads them. I can't explain it. They find me. One way or another, they find me. Now, because we have Skype, my clients don't have to fly from California or Maryland or Virginia to come and see me every year. They will call and they will set up an appointment with me. And then I will do a channeling session. Lots of times, the soul, the entity, which I don't even like the word entity, and they don't like to be called entity. There is a spirit world right next to our world. They're busy, they're doing stuff. They're busy just as busy as we are. We do not acknowledge that. When they have a message, no matter where I am, they will deliver it. And then I will be told where I need to deliver it at. I was having sushi with one of my very good friends, and actually you can go on my website and you can read her testimonial on this, because she has no psychic abilities. She's a total skeptic, and she's a girlfriend. You know, and I do have girlfriends that are skeptic, and that's fine with me, because I'm not here to prove to you anything, and I'm not here to change your mind. That's not my job. I am here to inform you, and you can do whatever you want with that information. And we're having sushi, and all of a sudden I tell her, we need to go. She goes, where are we going? I said, we need to go to the Don Cesar. The Don Cesar is a 5-star hotel. It's absolutely beautiful. Neither one of us are dressed for the Don Cesar. I've been at the Don Cesar many, many times because I did wedding planning for many, many, many years as a professional wedding planner. And 2 years ago, I left all of that to fully bring what I am and who I am out. Completely out. My gay friends said, you're out of the closet! You're out of the closet! I'm so excited! And I so understand them, because I know what it's like to have been in the closet, hiding who, my guess, hiding this. This can save lives. This can help people. And she goes, what are we going to do at the Don Cesar? I said, I have no idea. I have to deliver a message. Well, what's the message? I said, I have no idea. We are going to leave this wonderful sushi that we're paying $40 for to go to some place that you have no idea who you're going to talk to and deliver a message that you don't even know? I said, yes. She goes, Elena, you're crazy. I said, no, I'm not. I'm a medium psychic. She goes, yeah, you are that. Okay, well, let's go. So we have to have that boxed up. We had just ordered it. We only took one bite, and I love sushi. And we had it boxed up, and we went to the Don Cesar. And when we get to the Don Cesar, I tell her, we need to go get ice cream. Well, why? Because I'm being told we need to go get ice cream. Why do we need to go get ice cream? I don't know. Just go get ice cream. We go downstairs. You been to the Don Cesar? Thank you. Okay. We go downstairs. We get a scoop of ice cream. Before he even puts my ice cream on the scoop, I said, I have to go. Why? Because it's coming. What is coming? The person that I'm to talk to, they're on their way. I have to go. Well, how do you know? Duh. Because they just told me. Who? My guides. Your guides. Yes. I work with guides. I have spirit guides. They work with me. So, I said, I gave her $10, gave her $10, buy the ice cream, bring the ice cream upstairs. We need to go to upstairs by the piano. You know where that is, right? Where the piano is? Okay. And we go upstairs. She goes, what are we going to do? I said, we're going to sit here and eat our ice cream. What? We're going to sit here and eat our ice cream? Well, who are we looking for? I said, I have no idea. She wants information. She's a skeptic. She would have been a great paranormal person. And we sat there for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, a half an hour. She's like, how long do we need to sit here? I said, well, he's coming. Oh, it's a him now? I said, yes, very clearly. Well, how do you know what he's going to look like? There's so many people here. I said, I'll know. How? Because they will light up like a Christmas tree. That's how it appears to me when I'm to deliver a message. It's a light. It's so bright. It's beautiful. And here comes this man in a very expensive suit. He looks like money. He smells like money. He's money. He's a money man. He's gorgeous, beautiful man. And he goes and he sits on the couch. And I went right up to him and I said, hi, my name is Elena Jones. I'm a medium psychic. I have a message from your mother. I cannot remember the message, what that was delivered to him, but it was from his mother, because I remember this. And this young lady watched the whole thing and experienced it from her eyes, from her end, and I delivered the message. He goes into his wallet, takes out all this wad of money, and he went to pay me. And I'm like, no, I can't take that money. I was delivering a message from his mother. And I do that a lot. I do that a lot. You know, I might be in the bathroom somewhere at a restaurant with my husband, and I have to go. I come out of the bathroom and tell my husband, we need to go. Well, my husband is used to it. I'm married to a skeptic. My husband is a skeptic. He loves me. And it's very interesting because someone asked him, what is it like to be married to Elena Jones? And he says, every day it's a new adventure. I live an adventure with my wife every day of my life. His aunt fell and broke her hip, and we went to the hospital. And as I walked into the hospital, I stopped and I told my husband, I can't go with you. I need to stay here. And he said, honey, why? There's someone that really needs me here. And he said, okay, because, that's what my husband is used to this now. So when I tell him I have a message, he goes and does his own thing because he doesn't want nothing to do with it. It freaks him out. Sorry, it does, but that's who he is. And now, it's a hospital. There's the entrance, and I smell coffee. And I'm told to follow the smell of coffee. And I went through all these hallways, and there was a very dark area of the hospital, which I thought that was really odd. It was very dim lighting. And in the corner, I hear whimpering. And I go to it because I am being led to go to this person. And there's this girl. It's hunched over. And I say, hi. You called for me. She says, who are you? I said, I'm Elena. I'm a medium psychic. And I have a message for you. That night, she was going to commit suicide. I did not know this. So medium psychics, they're not just someone that you go up to and say, hey, can you see something today? Hey, what do you see on me? No. No. It's not like that at all. It's not like that at all. See, I wanted to tell you my story so you could understand a little bit more about personally the way I am. We have beautiful psychics today here. Go up to one of them. Don't ask them to read you. You wanted them to read you, you set up an appointment with them. And then you pay them. That's how it is. I make my living not only in channeling, not only in readings. I do a lot of other things besides all of that. We need to be respectful of the unseen world. We need to treat them with love. Oh, thank you. There's an entity here they're like crying. They're so happy that I'm actually speaking. They need to be treated with love and respect. Wouldn't you want to be treated with love and respect? I would. I have always treated them with love and respect. Sometimes when my team asks questions, I will be the first one to say to them, hey. And my team is really cool. I mean, at first they were all skeptics when I came into the team, and now they're my family. I met a man that had surgery done with no anesthesia, and no blood. And he travels all over the world speaking about the unseen world. He was a total skeptic. He had been suffering years and years and years and years and years with back problems. All these doctors wanted to operate him. And it was 90% chance that he would be disabled if he did that. And someone said to him that there's a gentleman somewhere in South America that do spiritual surgery. Has anybody heard of that? And he told me what the name of this gentleman was, but I can't remember the name. And I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of the person that's in South America that does this, all in spirit, and he works with spirit doctors. He said that he was very skeptic, but he wanted to walk without pain. Every day of his life was pain. And he said that he went to South America to have this done, this procedure done. I mean, there's hundreds and thousands of people that go to this man because this man channels psychic doctors. Doctors that, well, not psychic doctors, I'm sorry, that he channels spirit doctors. And one particular doc, you know, he sat with the man, he gave his back. He said that he sat in a chair while the gentleman started channeling this psychic, this spirit doctor. And this gentleman, the physical gentleman that did the surgery, had a very little scalpel and just made a little cut. And he said that he only felt a little pressure. And before he knew it, they put some water or something in his back and sent him home. He had brought with him 2 people that videotaped that whole thing. There was never no blood. There was never no pain. And this man has written books about it, travels all over speaking about that spirit world. And I loved meeting with him, and I loved sitting with him, and I loved him telling me that story. Because you never know who that soul is, that entity is. The way that they act, the way that they live their life as a physical form is the same way they are when they cross over. And like I said, some entities are very nice and some entities are not. I have met the very nice ones, and I have met the not so nice ones. Something happened yesterday here at the hotel. I have gone into a room that later on it was investigated. Someone told me that when they walked by this room, they felt this presence and said, Elena, please go see what's in there. And, and the door was ajar, so of course, I wanted to go check it out. And I go in there and I'm like, whoa. And immediately the entity said, who are you? And I explained that I was there, I didn't mean any harm. And they said to me, I want you to leave. I said, okay, I'm sorry. This is my room. Yes, it is your room, I'm sorry. So then, I went down the hall, and there was another team that I hadn't seen. We see each other once a year from other teams. And I invited them to come with me to this particular room. I didn't want to tell them anything because if I tell you something, then I put a thought into your mind. And then, you don't have your own thoughts. I was not attacked. The two other young ladies were not attacked, but one of them was. They started choking her. Her eyes popped out of her head. Her eyes became, with like blood and not blood running out. I mean, like when your eyes get really red, and tears just started coming, and she was going, and I went like that to this soul. Well, wait a minute. And she was like pushed out. And I realized that I did something that I felt so horribly. And then I went back and I asked, please forgive me, that was not my intentions to upset you. We did not knock on the door and say, excuse us, can we come in? That's a good lesson for me too. I should know better. So now every time I go by the room, I say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean anything. I put my hand on the room and say, I'm sorry, I don't mean anything. And I did that this morning. So to be aware of how you want to be treated that is how we need to treat the other side. I know that the paranormal seeks evidence. I know more than anything else you would love to see a big operation, and so that way you can really prove that it exists. And you may get that or may not. They might want to cooperate with you, they may not want to cooperate with you. Sometimes my team tells me that when I don't go on investigations with them, it's not very active. They don't get much. But every time I go, we get a lot. Meaning a lot of conversation. And we have equipment that you could hear them or you could see them. And that's why when they were looking for speakers, I said, I would like to be a speaker. I would like to bring a different view of what it's like for me on this side. My husband asked me before I came, he says, every time you go in investigations, do you feel that you are helping the entities? And lots of times, yes, because I have crossed over entities. And it is the most beautiful thing when you cross someone over that has been stuck here for so many generations because they're afraid. Especially if they did not live a very, how should we say it, nice life. If they did stuff that they knew it wasn't right, and in their belief system said to them, now you're going to go to this thing called hell. They're afraid to go to the light. The light meaning the Creator, our Father God, Creator light. And I had an entity that did just that. I got him to the light. And then what I did is I turned away. And I thought he had gone through it. And then within 2 hours, I'm out with my husband in the on our boat, and there it is, talking to me. I'm like, what are you doing talking to me? Well, I thought I crossed you over. And was afraid. It was afraid. And it asked me, will you stay with me until I go in? I'll go through. I told him I cannot go through with him. That I can stay up to and watch him. And when he was going through it, and I saw him, he stopped and he turned around and he smiled at me, thanking me. And then I started to cry. It's just very emotional. And I don't cry because of sadness, I cry of joy that they have gone home. I have 4 minutes. Anybody has any questions, please ask some questions. If it's too early, I understand. I haven't had my coffee yet. Questions?
You said they don't like being referred to as entities.
Yeah.
What's I guess the politically correct paranormal term for it?
What I would say is, what I always say is, hi, my name is Elena. I come in the name of God, in love and peace. And if there's anything I can do to help you, please let me know. If you're tired of being sick and tired of being here, they tell me that they're very tired of the questions that we ask. A lot of times they get sick and tired of us asking them to do stupid stuff. Think about it. Hey, come and sit here. Hey, turn this on. Well, excuse me. If you'd like to communicate with us, I invite you to come closer. In order for us to understand you better, we have this equipment. I know it can be very scary for you, especially since you passed in 1921 or 1919, there was no such things. And explain what those things are. And then tell them how it works. And how they can draw energy from that. And it's their choice to cooperate or not. We cannot make them do stuff that they don't want to do. Just like I can't make you do stuff that you don't want to do. I don't want to do stuff that somebody's going to make me want to do. It's just being, aware. Just being aware and loving. I think I'm done, huh? Okay, 2 minutes. Oh, good, 2 minutes. Ma'am, yes.
When you're crossing them over onto the other side, what do you do if you have, how do you handle it when they don't want to cross over, if they're scared?
And there's someone in my team that I'm very connected with, and this person and I have crossed souls over. And this person and I, when we are crossing them over, we see the same identical thing. We never discuss it until afterwards. They will tell me what they saw, and I will tell them what I saw, and it's the same identical thing. And, okay, 1 minute. I can only show them. I cannot make them. Sometimes, if they don't, they try to find me, and then I try to do that. But I have seen, there's been times that an entity did not want to go. They really like staying here. I mean, there was one case with my team. It did not want to go. It did not want to go, and I'm like, okay. And you can't make people do what they don't want to do, especially them also. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you so much for being here. Have a fabulous day, y'all.